Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are so honored and excited that we get to spend a few minutes of your Thursday night with you. Thank you for being here. I am so excited to get to spend some time with you and my sweet friend and mentor, Terri Luongo, to talk to you about the gut and Juice Plus and how whole food nutrition can have such a huge impact on your life and your gut. So whether you're here live or watching the recording, we're so glad you're here. Before I turn it over to Terri and her amazing wisdom, I want to take a minute to share my story with you. And I want to take you back a little bit to 2014 was when the trajectory of my health and my life dramatically changed. I was a freshman in college and I had a very normal childhood growing up. I ate well, I exercised, I was a dancer for 15 years. And really, I was the happy-go-lucky girl of my family and never foresaw, nor did my family foresee what would happen and be the turn of events as I entered college. And so after I finished my first semester, I had a pretty rough one emotionally. Not only was it hard academically, obviously, but I had gone through some emotional things with roommates and all of the stuff. I had been eating cafeteria food, having no idea what it was doing to my body. And the perfect storm of stress, anxiety, all of the things collided and this perfect storm erupted. And I came home my second semester of my freshman year because of how bad things were. To give you a visual of myself, I'm 5'8", and at one point I was 100 pounds. I couldn't keep any food inside of me. Anytime that I would eat anything, I was having an immediate date with the toilet. And so I wasn't sure what was going on. The anxiety, the depression, it all started to come. And I had no idea the gut-brain connection and the impact that was having on my life. And so my mom said to me, she was like, we've got to figure out what is going on. And so I had a blood test done to see if I had any celiac disease, and I came back negative for that. And so my mom was like, I think you should cut gluten. And so it was at that point that I decided gluten would be something that I didn't eat. And in 2015, gluten-free wasn't really a thing yet. It wasn't popular. Now you can go to the store and grab anything off the shelf, most likely, and find something gluten-free. But at the time, it was not common. And I was like, what the heck am I supposed to eat? I had grown up eating, gluten and dairy and my fruits and vegetables, but still gluten and dairy. And so fast forwarding a little bit, I'm navigating anxiety, depression, gut issues galore, trying to navigate all of those things. And I transferred to another university. And it was there when I moved that everything really came to a screeching halt. I was waking up every day, depressed, crying, didn't want to get out of bed. I felt horrible. And when you feel terrible, your mind doesn't function the way that it should, and you don't operate in life the way that we're called to. And so I remember calling my mom and telling her one day, I was like, we have got to do something about this because I don't think I can keep going. And I remember thinking to myself, and I hate even saying this, but it's a part of my story. I wish that I wasn't really here. I think being dead sounds better than being alive right now. And so my mom, of course, my mom and my dad are both like, have no idea how to handle what is going on. And so they bring me to a doctor in Texas, and I really had never gone to, other than your normal checkups here and there, I really didn't have a doctor that I was close with and knew well since I was new to Texas. And so she didn't know me. And she said, asked me the normal questions about anxiety and depression. And of course I answered yes, because that was the case. And not that I am anti-doctor by any stretch of the matter, but she did what she knew best. And that was prescribe me some antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. And so that lasted about a week and a half. And I realized that in that week and a half, I was already feeling addicted to what I had been putting in my body. And then I started experiencing withdrawals when I wasn't with it. And so I decided that was not the route that I was going to go. And so I told my mom, I was like, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to go the natural route, but I am not doing the medication route. And so We navigated seeing a holistic doctor and getting prescribed or purchasing a bunch of supplements, And although I felt better, I didn't feel great, and I was still just kind of going through the motions in life. And so I started experiencing what I had freshman year again with the gut issues and bathroom issues again. And so we decided to cut dairy. So at this point, I am gluten and dairy free. I'm basically eating meat and plants. And every time I eat, I am nauseous to the point that I'm on the couch for about an hour. So the bathroom issues have gone away, but I'm completely miserable. And so my mom was actually in 2017. I'm in my final semester at A&M, and she went to a salad party where she met an amazing woman named Courtney Curry. And Courtney, for those of you that don't know her, haven't heard her story, she is a 3-time stage 4 ovarian cancer survivor. And she was bold and brave enough to share her story at this event. And my mom was like, we need this for our family. And so my mom handed me these fruit and vegetable chews, and I looked at her like she had 10 heads. And I said, this is what you're going to give me? Like fruits and vegetables are going to fix me? I mean, I truly had believed, and I truly did believe, that nothing would change the circumstances that I had been in. And so I finished my my senior year. I married my now husband, who's in the military, and he deployed. And I was living at home for a few short months before I moved to Abilene, which is where I am now. And my mom looked at me when I was home, and she said, Abby, I want you to give Juice Plus a year. She said, I truly believe that it will heal your body. And she said, if at the end of the year you've seen no difference, then I'll leave you alone, but give it a year. And I said, okay, I have nothing to lose. And I didn't. And so tonight, I'm not sure if you're here and you're on the product, or if you're here and you've never been on the product, but the first thing I want you to take away from tonight is it's fruits and vegetables. You have nothing to lose. And so my journey began, and I experienced some radical health changes over that year. My nausea in the first 4 months from eating went away. At the 8-month mark, I was able to eat a cookie and not be tied to the bathroom. And then as I added our amazing plant-based omegas and I started shredding, the anxiety, depression, all went away in months 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so I sit before you today, and say to you that if you're in a place of struggling with your health, and anxiety and depression are a part of that package, that there is hope and there is encouragement for you, that it takes time, but it's so, so worth it. And so I am so honored to pass it over to my friend, Terri. She is a mom to 3 boys, a grandmother to 5 beautiful baby Luongos. And she has a background in fitness, but for the past 25 years, she has been a health educator. She has coached thousands of people to better health. Through Terri's journey with devastating autoimmune conditions and her recovery from those, it led her to a passion to educate others and herself and the role that the gut and how it can support us in good health. And so without further ado, Terri, please take it away, my friend. Terri, we can't hear you.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Abby. Thank you. And welcome, everybody. And I'm going to start by saying, guys, did you know that you are like the mothership and that you have lots of passengers on board? You're the mothership and you have lots of passengers on board. Does that create some curiosity in you? Well, I hope it does. Because my journey goes back, let's go back 35, 36, 37 years ago. My health was falling apart, like Abby said. I was becoming inflamed from periodontal disease, diarrhea, IBS, labeled chronic fatigue syndrome. By the time I'm 35, it's fibromyalgia. I was becoming an autoimmune nightmare. I was scared, I was seeking, I was looking, and a very wise doctor told me, Terri, all disease starts in the gut. And I kind of like, what is he talking about? Well, little did I know then that he was quoting Hippocrates. And Hippocrates, thousands of years ago, said, all disease starts in the gut. And we used to think that the gut was a very simple system. And I mean, I'm even talking 50 years ago. We used to think that this was the gut health. You ate, hopefully you absorbed some nutrition, and you pooped. You ate, absorbed, and pooped. Well, today there is a new biology. There is a new biology. Because of science today and this advanced technology, they can actually see inside your gut. And I'm here to tell you, my friends, we are superhuman organisms. And yes, we are the mothership, and we've got lots of passengers on board. And these passengers are your microbiota that makes up your microbiome. It is a colony, an ecosystem of bacteria. And I'm talking trillions of bacteria live in your gut. Science today tells us there could be anywhere between 100 to 300 trillion bacteria in your gut. And here's this, close to 300 to 500 different species of bacteria in your gut. So to give you something to compare it to, the human physiology is like 30 million cells. The critters in your gut are 300 trillion. Guys, there's more of them than there are of us. So what's their job? This is how we have evolved. Their job is to protect us from germs. Their job is to help us digest, assimilate, and gain energy from our food. But they are so sophisticated. Do you know that this microbiota can even make like anti-cancer substances in our gut? Okay, and they call your body home. And my guys, friends, it is a family affair. So a healthy gut contributes to a balanced immune system. Did you know that 70 to 80% of your immunity lies in your digestive tract and in your intestinal linings? Okay, my friends, it is your lifeline. And what else does a healthy gut support? Oh, I don't know. Like, let's go with heart health, brain health, sleeping, moods, Abby, digestion. And take a look at that sleeping piece. Guys, if you're not getting into a deep sleep, you know, that's when the REM sleep, okay, what happens in the REM sleep is that's when the human growth hormones come out to play and help you heal. But you need to be able to sleep. And so the gut microbiome regulates all that. It impacts, are you ready for this? Every single hormone in your body. Your thyroid, your estrogen, your melatonin, all these things are regulated by your gut and your microbiota. So let's talk brain health just for a second, because that was what, you know, Abby was challenged with. Well, did you know we have two brains? Everybody's familiar with the thinking brain. And then we have this enteric brain. Your gut is the enteric brain. And everything that goes on in your gut is communicated to your thinking brain through this enteric nervous system. So why is that important? Well, 80% of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter, is created in your gut. And serotonin is what contributes to well-being and happiness. Also, Abby, because you spoke to this, did you also know now that we know that serotonin also affects your digestive health? And there is a link today between serotonin changes and IBS. Wow. So if you're having imbalances with your serotonin because your gut is not healthy, it is going to affect your mood and your anxiety and your digestive health. Same with dopamine. And so dopamine is another neurotransmitter that's created in your gut, okay? And that gives you the pleasure response, you know, from eating a good meal, from sex, all of these things. Dopamine is responsible for your pleasure response. So if that's not balanced, you know, no wonder we're going to be having mood issues. So two brains, thinking brain, enteric brain. Okay, and I truly believe today that the integrity of our gut health is the most important aspect of health because it affects healing, it affects prevention, and it affects the recovery process. So Why do I say that? Well, it wasn't too long ago that we became familiar with the science of epigenetics. And epigenetics, my friends, for those of you that don't know what this is, it's the study of changes in organisms in the body that determine whether we turn a gene on or we turn a gene off. That's what the science of epigenetics is. And so what we know today is that it's our lifestyle that accounts for more of our health than the genes that we have. Yeah, we can have cancer genes, but it's our lifestyle that determines whether we turn that on or turn that off. I heard a doctor say, and I want to read this because I want to get it right. She said, it's not so much what your genes do to you, it's what we do to our genes. It's all about the epigenetics of your microbiome. Isn't that, I mean, that gets me so excited because we have so much hope. So how do we balance and how do we create a healthy microbiome? Well, number one, these trillions of critters are hungry, okay? They're hungry, they're critters, they have to eat, okay? And so whatever you're feeding your cells, you're also feeding your microbiome. And so unfortunately, today, we have an incredible imbalance with our microbiome. It's called dysbiosis. Okay, it's become very common. And why do we have such an imbalance? Well, let's think. You know, we have to give thanks to years of eating diets that are high in processed food. Everything that's in aisle 4, 5, and 6, if it doesn't rot, if it doesn't sprout, throw it out because it's affecting the integrity of your microbiome. How about sugar? Average American eats about 132 pounds a year. Our kids are eating close to 238 pounds for an adult, 200 pounds for a child. Completely sabotages your microbiome. How about conventionally raised meat that you buy in the grocery store? It's filled with antibiotics. Havoc to your microbiome. How about dairy that's loaded with hormones? You see where I'm going with this? And how about just antibiotics in general? You know, it wasn't too long ago in the 50s where people thought, you know, the only good bacteria is a dead bacteria. So let's go in and clean the house. Let's get rid of all the bacteria. No, we are literally wiping out the good guys. So antibiotics, antacid, chronic stress, okay? And now we've got a seriously impaired gut health. What is the results of this? Well, the results of this is inflammation. Inflammation that causes heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, autoimmune conditions. Almost every single disease that you can mention today is somehow linked to the integrity of your microbiome. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to have to remove, we're going to have to replace, and we're going to have to repair. We're going to have to remove the sugars and the processed foods and the cheap animal protein. And you're going to need some help with that. You know why? Because your microbiome rules the roost. It will wipe out any willpower that you think you might have. These critters are powerful. All right. So somebody might be out there saying, but Terri, I take a probiotic. All right. So let's talk probiotics just for a second. You know, I'm kind of, the jury's still out for me on probiotics. Why? Because take a look at your probiotic. 32 different strains. And we know there are from 300 to 500 different species of microbiomes. How do you know you're getting it right? How do we know? So what's more important to me, more important than the probiotic pill that you take, is let's get in and start eating some prebiotic food. It's prebiotic food that feeds the good guys. And so what are the good guys looking for? Fiber. Fiber and the rainbow. Fiber from as many different plants as you can find. The fruits, the vegetables, the berries. This is the kind of nutrition that the microbiome is craving. So the fiber, specifically cruciferous vegetables, and when you take a look at the rainbow effect, and that's why I love Juice Plus, is that every single fruit and vegetable, we're talking 10,000 plant nutrients in a single fruit or vegetable, 10,000. But guys, This is what feeds the good guys. Now, know this. If you were to sit down tonight and eat 10 grams of fiber, that tomorrow your microbiome level would increase 20%. 10 grams of fiber, that's not easy to do. Well, that's why I love the complete. Okay, 8 grams of fiber per serving. It is so between the Juice Plus and the complete, we're talking the micro and the macro nutrition that's going to feed your cells, feed your microbiome. And so let's continue, let's move on. The other thing that your microbiome is very interested in and really, really has great benefits from is fermented food. The sauerkraut, you should eat sauerkraut once a day. Kimchi, drink your kombucha, tempeh, miso, bone broth. All of the fermented foods are so beneficial to help you reap and reel a healthy microbiome. And some of the other things that are going to help are things like exercise, sweating it out. Okay, water, flushing it out, and the sleep piece. And I think some of the things that I love about Juice Plus is the science behind the product. You know, the science that says it reduces the inflammation, the science that it says that it feeds the cells. And coming in the near future, we actually are going to have research about permeability of intestinal wall research with Juice Plus. Now that's exciting. So for me, like you, Abby, you know, no more inflammation, gone. No more periodontal disease, gone. No more chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, all that. The miracle is that I fed my cells and I fed my microbiome the foods that set me up for healing. Your body is the healing machine. Your body is the healing machine. You know, just recently I went for some blood work. I don't know if Dr. Chowdhury's on the call or not tonight. She told me she was going to try, you know, blood work and hook me up to these different machines. And I was kind of impressed. I think she was too. You know, my body fat is 25%. My BMI was 20.5. Visceral fat was 6. It has to be lower than 12. Mine is 6. You know, unbelievable. But I think the part that really got me excited is that my metabolic age today is 18 years younger than my actual age. Now, that doesn't happen overnight. I've been doing this for 25, 26 years. But I want you to know that every 365 days, you have a whole new battery of cells. Every 365 days, your cells regenerate. Your skin cells regenerate every month. Your blood cells regenerate every 4 to 6 months. The lining of our stomach, guys, regenerates every 5 days. Every 9, 10, and 11 months, you have new bone cells and new muscle cells. So I want you to pay attention. I want you to make friends with your microbiota because they are taking care of you. They want to take care of you. They are designed to take care of you. And we're just starting to scratch the surface on the power of our microbiome. So, hey, look at this. I did it in under 20 minutes. So thank you. Thanks for asking me, Abby. I hope that this blesses people. I know that this is going to be circulating around. And if anybody ever has any questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Terri, for your wisdom and your time that you put into educating others. I don't know about y'all, but that was powerful. So thank you. Y'all, what we want you to walk away with tonight is this, that Juice Plus is a catalyst. It's not the cure-all, be-all, but it is a crucial step to becoming the best you, to feeling your best, and to taking the next step forward in your journey no matter where you are. It's one simple change that takes you literally seconds each day to get 30 fruits and vegetables in your diet. And so we, Terri and I, have been changed and impacted in incredible ways, and a few other people on this call, by Juice Plus, the community, and what it's done for our lives. And so we invite you to join us. and join us as we work towards our best selves and our best health. So thank you guys for your time tonight. And for those of you that watch the recording, have a great night, y'all.
Good night.